I would love if we could be honest and rebrand singles events as The Truth, which is a perfect place to meet your brand new platonic best friend. Men don't go to these. Men do not go to singles events. Stop paying money to go to singles events. Men don't go. Stop it.
If a man is trying to please a woman, a man will lose his mind trying to deal with that because women ultimately don't even know what they want. And because women are so emotional, it don't matter what you did all the way up until the moment she's mad. When she's mad, she'll destroy everything because she didn't get her way in these 5 minutes.
Men do not date. Dating is for women. And she calls it getting to know each other. Wrong. It's an audition. A lion does not schedule interviews with meat. He already knows he likes the meat when he saw it. What are you even talking about with the woman anyway? Please. Weak men date because they want approval. If you keep playing the dating game, you're just choosing to be evaluated. And the men who get evaluated rarely get chosen. Cheers.
The funny thing is that even when men are not doing anything, modern women are still trying to hold them accountable.
I don't know what lady needs to hear this, but I promise you, most proposals are not surprises. I know we grow up watching those princess movies and we want that excitement, but a lot of couples, even if they say it was a surprise, a lot of times it wasn't. There were discussions about it. There were conversations. And let's be real here, those super elaborate fancy proposals, there is no way a man's gonna do that out of the blue without some discussion about marriage. He knows what the answer is going to be. I mean, to be fair, we sometimes see the videos where she says no. That's obviously there wasn't discussions there, I think. Or she changed her mind last minute, whatever. But if that's what you're expecting out of your man, and you're expecting him to magically read your mind and just know, it's probably not going to happen. You need to adjust your expectations on that. And that's if he even wants to get married to begin with, because sometimes men don't want to get married because there's a lot stacked against them on that, and it's understandable. And I mean, some men will still give you the ring, the proposal, everything except the actual marriage part.
What's going on, fellas? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let's get back to the video.
A man doesn't want a dictatorial woman in his home. The less feminine you are, the more you're going to struggle, the more you're going to be fighting against the biological tide rather than working with it. So what does that look like? First of all, being softer. When you first dated, I guarantee you exuded softness and receptivity. That's how you got them. You immediately went into your feminine because we kind of instinctually know how to do that, but something tends to happen over time. And we've all been there, and it's not anything to feel bad about. It's just to have an awareness of, look, here's what works and here's what doesn't. And if you want to go in the positive direction, think back to when it was easy, and whatever you employed then, do it again.
Basically saying, date your husband.
Yeah.
Be his girlfriend.
Be his girlfriend.
Not his boss.
Not his boss. Whatever it is that you're doing during the day with your kids or at your job, let that be there and learn how to switch gears when you come home at night.
And modern women don't really understand the fact of the matter is, number one, men are tired. Number two, men can't trust, almost quite literally, they can't trust anything that you say.
All these guys I date are just beta males looking for a mother to tell them what to do. I don't know why it's so hard to find a faithful, masculine man that will treat you right. Well, why are you entertaining those men instead of the masculine men you say you want? Because those men want a soft, dainty little flower. And in my experience, those men don't know how to handle strong, independent women that don't need them. Is that really true, though? Because those are some masculine traits you listed there. And if a man actually isn't as masculine, then it's not like he can't handle things like strength and independence. He is those things. He probably just doesn't want to date it. Well, if they were actually masculine, they would be able to deal with a strong woman that challenges them to be better. Well, a person with a lot of masculine energy has had to overcome a lot of challenges head on, as you would know. Do you really think they want more challenges? A boss already challenges you. A coach challenges you. Life itself will bring plenty of its own challenges, but a partner has your back. A partner supports you through those challenges, not adds to them. So a masculine man doesn't want to deal with a woman that brings more challenges into their relationship any more than you want to deal with these feminine passive men who you have to tell what to do. You're asking for a man who's already put in the work to balance out their masculine feminine energies that you haven't actually done yet. So you're saying that if I want a man who's already masculine, I would have already had to have done the work to balance out my feminine side? Bingo.
You know, modern women want men to chase them around until the end of time. And one thing we're finding out is that men are not going to do it anymore. Plain and simple, bro.
I want to talk about this article, The Rise of Lonely Single Men. The first two reasons point to dating opportunities, specifically via apps, saying that more men than women are on dating apps. But it's the third reason I want to talk about. Men need to address skill deficits, particularly emotional skill deficits, to meet healthier relationship standards. I heard another creator say, when women didn't need men anymore, men needed to become likable, and they're not doing a very good job. And boy, ain't that the truth. The thing that I'm hearing from women is, we're out here leveling up. We're going to therapy. We're talking about our feelings. We're unpacking our trauma. We're doing the work. What this means is that in order for me to want to spend time with you, I have to enjoy my time with you more than I enjoy my time with myself. And let me tell you, that is a very high bar. So what the author of this paper is saying is, hey men, go to therapy, talk about your feelings, learn some emotional regulation, figure out how the patriarchy and toxic masculinity is hurting you too. Maybe then you won't be so lonely.
One thing that modern women don't seem to understand is that men can handle the truth. It's just that when y'all are telling people the truth, y'all are trying to be disrespectful, like over the top disrespectful.
Right there.
All right, let's go.
That's
what you got, bro.
That right there is called loving. Like, that is real loving right
So
there.
this old girl, the girl you dating now,
Man,
she made that.
she made it for me.
And
I don't deserve it either.
what's this bag about?
Okay, hold on. What, the Lulus?
Yeah, what's that bag about?
Look, she put me on some of her drawers.
Really?
Yes,
So
sir.
you wearing underwear? Women? Is that women's underwear?
I don't know what they are, but they comfortable.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, you know, breeze and all.
You know how many women would say to that woman that she shouldn't be doing wifely things before being a wife? Well, guess what? That woman is going to be the one that's wifed up within a year. And as for the ones giving that advice, well, I think that we all know what their relationship status is going to be. That woman knows what she's doing. She is practicing to be a wife. And that man, oh, even if he wasn't ready, he's going to make himself ready. Guys, tell me if you agree or disagree.
Another thing that kind of drives men away is when men are trying to help and lead and guide their woman, it is seen as controlling and seen as he's manipulating. Instead of just being grateful, they say, hey, no, I want you to be in the best position possible. Go this way.
I mean, if a woman wants to know the men in her life better, whether it's her husband or her sons or men she works with, her brothers or father, what if they mean what they say? Because we tend to listen that when they say, I do that because, or this is, or I'm this way, or it is this way, we tend to listen to it as a poor excuse for bad behavior. And we don't treat it like it's real. We don't treat it like they're telling me the truth. Okay, how can I hear it? And really what happens to people through the Queen's Code, for example, or our live workshops that were all the research to be able to write it, if we just consider they're men and women, just starting with gender hormones, men and women, our brains don't even configure themselves in the same way. We think differently. Our vision is different. We don't see the same things with our eyes, right? And we expect that the other person's supposed to be coming from our point of view, from our values, from our preferences and attachments, and from our wounds. And we expect so much of the other person to be like us. And we can't hear them when they're speaking about the world for them.
Modern women continue to do things and display attitudes, feelings, and behaviors online that men are seeing, and they're pulling back. Men are opting out and saying, oh, I'm not about to invest in that. Well, why not? Because long term, that might be fun for you now, but long term, that's not going to work.
Why should a guy date you?
Well, I put them as my number one priority, loyal, and I don't entertain any other guys. They have my full attention.
And you think a man values loyalty the most in his woman?
Yes, 100%.
Why would a man want that?
Because why does a man want a girl that talks to 50 million other guys?
So if we were dating and then you had a guy slide in your DMs and he said, hey, you're beautiful, how would you respond to him?
Wouldn't.
You wouldn't tell him, sorry, I have a boyfriend,
I
nothing?
wouldn't respond at all. I'd send it to my boyfriend, and I wouldn't respond at all.
What gives you that mentality?
Because I want the same respect. So I'm going to respect them to have that same respect in return.
So you're a man, if a chick DM'd him, he should act the same way.
Yes, 100%.
What if your man was like a gynecologist and he worked around women all the time? Would you feel a type of way about that?
If he gave me a reason not to trust him, then yeah. But if he gave me every reason to trust him, then no.
One thing modern women are able to do is they're able to make a house chaotic. And, you know, when a man has to come home from a long day of work, a long shift, to a chaotic house, why in the world would he stay? Why in the world would he be here? Oh, you're asking why men keep on checking out, why they keep on going their own way. Is because their home isn't a safe space.
I'm just enjoying being single right now. Says the woman who looks like my future wife, who I just want to bring painkillers and a hot water bottle when it's her time of the month. It's always the babes that have everything you're looking for. They tick every single box that are enjoying being single the most. I'll tell you why. Because someone's son made her hate being taken. These babes literally have everything. A serious job title, a passion project, they journal, they have good skin, they go Pilates on their lunch break or in the morning. Babe, if you give me a chance, I promise I can learn to love matcha and Melissa's wardrobe. Let me be a part of your failed culinary dream. Picture this. I'm in the kitchen. I'm passing you the wrong utensils and you respond, you know how you can help? Just get out the kitchen. You might enjoy being single, but you need me to come and wash the dishes when you inevitably use half the kitchen to cook. I don't even know why you guys do that. Jokes aside, shout out to the women that are enjoying being single right now, but please stop starving us. You don't even need to bring anything to the table. I mean, you guys are the table, right? And round here, we love eating off a table.
I mean, once again, we go back to that saying, women start off the relationship doing what 0%, and men start off doing like 100% or something like that. And then over time, the woman is supposed to increase her level of effort to 100%. But by that time, the man is at 50%. Well, yeah, you know, makes sense because you weren't doing anything for God knows how many years.
Okay, I have the secret. Single ladies, I figured it out. I'm going to be 56 next month. And I didn't even know this. I'm not single. I was widowed. I'm remarried. So I'm married. So this is not, I'm telling you where you need to go to meet someone if you want to find a partner, specifically a man. Are you looking for a man? So my husband said, hey, let's go to dinner at this golf resort. I'm like, okay, cool. Sounds good. It's beautiful. And you guys, I had no idea. There is men everywhere. And I'm telling you, don't go to Target. Don't go to Home Depot. Don't go to all those places that they say you're going to meet a man. Take up golfing, girls. Take up golfing. I'll show you some photos, but I'm telling you, that's where you should go.
Very well.
It's modern women, man. Their brain is warped. Their brain is warped. Their brain is warped. Anything and everything they talk about, man. Their brain is warped. It's done. It's over with. Modern women, they try to see how much they can get away with. They try to continue doing what they should not be doing. And it'd be one thing to do what you're not supposed to be doing and then just like do that. It's like, say, for instance, somebody's on food stamps and they're going to the store or say, for instance, they selling their food stamps. You're not really supposed to be doing that, right? But when somebody catch you, and they caught you because you was blasting online, I got food stamps for sale, and they come and take it. Not only do they lower your food stamps, but they take your food stamps away completely. Now you're online crying. Somebody help me out. I can't believe they did this. where you were online telling all your business. That's what you were doing. There's not a lot of people that would have known that's what you were doing if you wouldn't have said anything. But this is what modern women do. They out here doing what they're not supposed to be doing and then saying, now what are you going to do about it? You're going to accept my lifestyle, or that's going to be that. I'm not that type of woman. I'm a different breed. I do whatever I want. I say whatever I want, whenever I want, to whoever I want. And I dare somebody to stop me. And the powers that be in whatever situation, don't always got to be the government. The powers that be just happen to say, you know what? Today is a day where we test that theory. Today is a day where we're going to go ahead and call your bluff. And then that's when they're crying. Snotting all over the stair rails, falling all down, sliding just one step at a time till they finally get down to the bottom and they just lay there curled up in the fetal position. Bottle of wine over in the corner, 3 weeks old. That's how we get there. Because modern women sit up here and they're out here doing stuff that they're not supposed to be doing. And then not only that, they're bragging about doing stuff that they're not supposed to be doing. And then they wonder why men look at them from afar and say, hey, listen, I don't want that. Boy, you're insecure in your own self. No, I'm not. I just seen you acting crazy. And that's not something that I'm attracted to.
I feel like people do not understand what it's like for a man to fall in love. Like, this topic is not talked about enough because for some reason men see vulnerability as like feminism, and I don't even get me started. But I am making this video because I think that you guys just need to understand what happens, right, when a man falls in love. I'll say this. Throughout your life as a man, you typically feel, no matter what group you're in, no matter what you accomplish in life, you feel like you don't belong in a way because you realize at some point that everything's transactional, right? You're not told that you're like pretty, right? Or you're good enough. You're always told that you need to be raised to provide. You need to meet this standard. You need to be able to do this and this and that to be loved. You're never told that like love should be handed to you because you just naturally deserve it the way you are. You're told that you have to become a certain standard, right? So obviously this is why men are, no excuse, men are dogs, but this is why men become dogs a lot of times, right? Because of fear, immaturity, and low self-esteem, honestly. But that being said, when a man chooses, when a man has chosen and has found that safety, that security in a woman, oh my God, nothing else exists. Like, it is like this feeling of like your heart finally being able to take off its armor after a lifetime of war, and you don't have to look behind your shoulder and think that someone's gonna stab a knife into it. Like, your eyes, you are seeing, it's like seeing with saved eyes. You are seeing your life in a woman, right? And embodying a person. And for some reason, you just are locked in. You just feel like, wow, you know, like I am finally safe, and this person I will die for.
What does a man expect from a woman? A man basically needs three things. A woman who does not betray him in any way, even during the worst of times. A woman who brings him peace, rather than being a constant complainer who only knows how to make demand. And a woman who offers him a high quality life. This is what sustains the relationship. Yeah. But if you aspire to be an above average partner, know that he also needs to be validated through words of affirmation. He needs to know that you admire him, that you respect him, and that you recognize all the effort he puts forth for the family. Yeah. Remember, out there in the world, society already places enough pressure on your husband. And in the world of men, there are no friendly words, gestures of kindness, or comforting hugs. And that is precisely why within the walls of your home, it falls to you to provide these things for him. Within your home, be the source of affection and peace that he cannot find in the outside world. Yeah. For the wise woman builds her house, while the foolish one tears it down. If this video made sense to you in any way, please follow our page to stay close to me. Thank you.
So my therapist taught me that there is this chemical in a man's brain called vasopressin. And basically vasopressin is that chemical that once increased will give your husband like the need to like desire you and want to be, you know, intimate with you, right? So I was telling my therapist that, you know, the whole femininity thing, and I realized that a part of that is I struggle with accepting compliments from my husband. So we're on the phone, he's at the store and he's picking up barbecue sauce, and we always get like honey barbecue sauce, right? So he got one that said, like sweet brown barbecue sauce. So he says to me, "Oh, babe, you my sweet brown honey," or something like that. "You're my sweet brown sugar," right? And I was like, well, I better be. And usually when my husband gives me a compliment, I'm like, I say thanks, but I'm really shy. Like I'm always shying away. So it's either I'm shying away from accepting it or I'm just like, okay, well, I better be. So he says to me, like, see, women want compliments and this is how y'all respond. And of course I'm laughing it off. But in my mind, I'm like, you know what? You're so right. I don't know how to receive a compliment from anyone, let alone my husband. And my therapist explained that by me responding the way that I did, like, oh, I better be, what it does is it doesn't allow that vasopressin in my husband's brain to increase, allowing him to like desire me. And that's what the world knows or calls it as like the man likes to chase. That's the chemical, y'all. That is why it's so important that we are also feminine in our responses and things, because it increases that vasopressin. So talking to my therapist, you know, she's breaking things down for me, and she basically said that we are supposed to accept compliments knowing that we are a child of God. And the way that I understood it was like, if God gave you a compliment and said, hey, I think you are beautiful and amazing, would you tell God, no, I'm not? Would you tell God, oh, I better be? Probably not, right? And of course, we also got into the whole topic that growing up, I didn't really receive a lot of compliments, and that plays a part. But adding God into it and remembering that you are a child of God and being able to accept things as a child of God really did change the way that I see compliments.
Men want traditional women, but they're not prepared to be traditional men, you know, taking over countries, bringing over the bones and skulls of her enemies so she can make chalices out of them. It's just not the same anymore.
What is up with this whole movement against single moms? I've had 5 comments today that I've had to delete about how I have no value because I'm a single mom. Y'all don't even know people's stories. What if the BD? Like, what? Why do y'all always gotta come for a woman? You know how much that says about you? You're nothing as a man if you have to degrade women to feel better about yourself, especially a random woman on the internet. A single mom? You're degrading a single mom? Huh? I do everything for my child. I'm the man and the woman. What's wrong with you? There's nothing wrong with me. You don't know my story. You don't know how I got here. What's wrong with you for trying to put down a woman? Are you okay? You're blocked. 0%.
I just need to know from a men's perspective, are y'all waiting on girls to talk to you first? Like, are you waiting on a girl to ask you on a date first? Because that's crazy to me. Like, when you're out in public and you're making eyes with a girl and you're, like, making it known that you're attracted to her, but you're not going to say something, how are you not going to say something? Where are the huevos? Where are the huevos these days? I feel like there's so many, like, times that guys want to say something to girls and they don't. Like, is there a guy watching this that can give us some insight? Like, why don't you just do it? Why don't you just do it? Are you scared? Are you waiting for her to say something first? I like my man to be assertive and dominant. If you want to say something to me, say something to me. I'll give you the opportunity. I'll put my phone down.
I don't know why so many women think that it's so easy to approach when they themselves start sweating over the thought of roles reversed. Just off the top of my head, 3 really easy reasons why it is difficult for a man to approach. Number 1, fear of rejection. Number 2, anxiety over what he actually says to you. And number 3, the situation is not ideal. Like, you're not alone. That's just 3, but there's like 100 more.
So I just figured out where all of the hustle material guys are in New York City, and I cannot believe it took me now 7 years living here to figure out this secret. So hear me out here. So me and my cousin are heading up to Connecticut yesterday, and we took the Metro North from Grand Central, and we could not believe the amount of gorgeous single men that were on the train. Like, this is where they've been hiding, girls. This is where they've been hiding. So hear me out. So these guys are definitely not blacking out on a Friday night, hungover in bed all day Saturday. No. You know what they're doing? They're hopping on the train. They're going to see their mom. They're going to see their grandma. They're going to see their friends that have homes, actual homes. These guys are not They are actual people that have actual adult things to do. And this is where they've all been hiding. So girls, if you want to find a husband, get the out of New York City and just take the train. Go shopping with the girlies. Go plan a Connecticut day. I promise you, you will come back and you will have 17 phone numbers. Okay, so wish me luck.
I hate men. Them all. They are all bad. That is rhetoric that I simply do not agree with. And I'm saying that as somebody who has been hurt, cheated on, and by men. And I do understand where this rhetoric comes from. But here is my question. Do we really think that by telling all men that they suck, we are going to get better men? Because statistically, boys who grow up without fathers are far more likely to end up incarcerated and far less likely to graduate college. To me, that signals something. Men and boys need guidance, not just condemnation. So last week, my friend Ray and I walked into a fraternity and facilitated a workshop for new members, all about consent, the freeze and fawn trauma responses, and bystander intervention. And do you want to know what the overwhelming response was? Gratitude. Gratitude because somebody was willing to have a real conversation without assuming the worst of them. It was also abundantly clear that these were conversations they wish they had had earlier. And to be 100% clear, I am not excusing the harm being caused. I'm saying that telling an entire gender that they are all bad does not create change, because telling someone they are the problem doesn't teach them how to be anything else. If we actually want things to change, we have to be willing to talk to men like they are capable of being better. So just for the record, I don't hate all men, but I do believe that we all deserve a safer and better world, and men deserve to be believed to be capable of helping build it.
This is a panel of average women.
No!
I'm not saying that to insult you.
I don't give a
It's a very average panel, and I think I'm in some ways being a bit generous here. There's record high levels of delusion among women. Y'all really think you're more attractive than you actually are. And look, what that's going to translate to is you're going to be chasing after a caliber of guy you'll never fucking get. When you finally settle down for the guy who's actually willing to be in a relationship with you, you're going to have so much resentment for this guy because you're thinking about that guy had more money, that guy had was better in bed, that guy was better looking, all these factors, because y'all waiting until 30 to get married, to start a family, to have kids. You've been ran through, you've had a bunch of dick, and then the guy who's actually on your league, who you think you're settling for, but it's actually your equivalent, you think you're dating down. You're going to resent that man. It's going to be a fucking bedroom within a couple of years.
You shouldn't change your standards of the way you love or anything just because of the general public, what they think or what the statistics is. I don't give a fuck about.
I don't even care if you're either in love or you're being swindled.
Here's how this woman views dating. I'll let her explain.
So this is our dating chart. You're either in love or you're being swindled, and you're either having fun or you're bored as hell.
So it's fun versus bored, and then it's in love versus being deceived, I guess. And of course, there's no indication of like, is this a good idea? Is it good for you? Are there any metrics by which you're measuring these things? And then, do the men you're dating have any feelings about the situation besides, I guess, swindling is an emotion? Let's see how they use this to make decisions.
So if you find somebody and you're in love and you're having fun, you marry them.
Oh, that explains this. So according to her, fun plus love equals marriage, and we don't need to know anything else.
Yeah, I do. If you're having fun, but they're swindling you, they're a fuckboy.
So they seem to have figured this out. Good.
Yep, facts. If they're swindling you and you're bored, get out of here. Just go.
Okay, so then swindle plus fun equals stay, so then they have not figured this out.
And if you're in love with them and they're boring, if they're hot and it's rich, it's okay.
Now I know where all those women went. Okay, after 3 weeks, be rich.
But if they're not that, then again, ignore them.
Okay, some things are falling into place. If not hot, rich, love, then ignore.
Yeah, stay for the money, leave if they're not. And Mario, where would you place yourself? I would put myself in love, having fun. They are having fun, but in lust. So that sucks for me.
I'm being Tinder swindled and kind of bored.
So there you have it, a room full of women agreeing that these are the choices that they have and not... I also found this gem in the comments. So I thought it would help out here, and I created the Women's Cubic Dating Decision Matrix, the woq.com for short. That's catchy. I have preserved the love to swindle axis, and I kept fun, more, and less. And I thought I would include a third variable. Is this a good idea? That expands the square to 8 cubes, and smart is going to be towards the front. So these girls said that if you're in love and having fun, then you should get married, and I want you to consider whether or not that's a good or a bad idea, because if it's not, then maybe you shouldn't do that. I'm going to call that the don't box. Of course, if you're having fun, love, and it is a good idea, then go for it. Now, I know this is crazy, but I'm going to add the entire swindle volume to the don't list. That's very rare for it to be smart to get swindled. That leaves just 2 cubes, the boring love area. I'm gonna recommend against stupid boring love. That sounds bad. That leaves just smart boring love. I'm gonna create a third category for that, reconsider. You may remember she said only if he's rich and hot, which I guess can be boring. If you want money and looks and excitement, you're gonna be looking for guys who are just really busy. So even if you think this is you, even she's not getting all of his attention. Fun, rich, hot love doesn't always work out. This is the guys who are busy back here. If you're optimizing for fun, that's going to create this excitement chaser pattern where when you get bored, you're going to drop someone and leave for someone more fun. Those are measurements of overall excitement. And fun guys are pretty busy, so when you ask for commitment, he's probably just going to say no and bring someone else on board, and you're going to be in this repeating pattern of being swindled. So here again is excitement plotted against time in a stability-optimized relationship. This right here is being bored, and this right here is a fight. And that would be the reconsider option. Just think about what happens later if you choose boring instead of excitement. Hope that helps.
You're either in love or you're being swindled.
Dating. Not dating. Interested. For fun. Not husband. Potential. Done coaching. What's next? Have fun. Girl has to do what girl has to do. Men do what they have to do, and they have done for far too long. So girl do what she got to do, which is have fun. Yeah. Watch out for fuckboys. Not in this house. I spot you mile away. Get out. Nice try. Better luck next time. Next. Not me. Standards.
Modern women continue to tell on themselves. There was this one woman talking about, I want to date, I want to have somebody, but I don't want to put forth the effort. I'm lonely, and I know I want somebody of quality, but I don't want to put forth the effort. That's the problem that we're having right now. That's the problem that we're having right now. That's what men keep telling you. Y'all keep on telling us that, you know, men don't put forth the effort, men don't try, and men can't even plan a proper date. What if they planned a proper date? You would, oh man, why would anybody want that? Why would anybody want that? A man goes through and plans a proper date. I don't want to have to think about anything. I'm so frustrated right now, man. I'm so frustrated with these modern women. I'm so frustrated with them. They don't want to do anything. They don't want to engage. They don't want to cater. They don't want to help. They don't want to sacrifice. They don't want to put forth any type of effort at all. They don't want to do it. And you sit up here, you got men putting forth hundreds of thousands of dollars in these women. Well, I don't want to put forth the effort. I just don't feel like it, which is exactly the problem. That's exactly the problem. Y'all don't want to do nothing. A man knows you don't want to do nothing. And he don't even got to guess if you don't want to do nothing. You gonna tell him, I don't want to do nothing. I don't feel like doing anything. And I'm not going to do it. You keep on telling the man he don't have to guess. You keep on telling him, I'm not going to be a part of this relationship until I want to be. I'm not going to give you anything or cater to you unless I want to. What man is going to want that? What man is going to say, sign me up? Silly. Some of these women out here talking about, man, you know, I don't do this for my man. I don't do that for my man. And just go down a list of things. It'd be one thing if it was like one or two things, but they just go down a list of things that they ain't doing for their man. And it, boy, hey, but he still loves me. He still pays all the bills. Why would you even say that? Why would you even brag about the stuff that you don't do for somebody else? Wouldn't that say more about your character? That you're chock full of stupidity than what they're doing? And that's essentially the point. That's exactly the point. I can stay the same. I don't have to change. My attitude can be as nasty as I want it to be. And I still get this from men. I can still get this from my boyfriend. All right.